Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our class in Basic School Management and Administration. So, kumusta naman mo? I hope that you are all fine and you are safe from COVID-19. Let us just always follow the instructions given to us by the IATF to make sure that we are free from any contamination of the virus. So today, we will be moving on to our new lesson, and that would be the qualities of a good principal. Take note that in our previous lesson, we were talking about the qualities of a leader. So, what is the difference of the previous topic compared to the present? Well, of course, when we look into the content of our lesson, in our previous lesson, it was about qualities of a leader in general. So whoever is to become a leader, it is hoped and it is expected that he would develop all those skills. So he is a leader in whatever organization or establishment for that matter. But today, we will be talking about qualities of a school principal. So of course, during your elementary and high school, you can also remember your principal. Do you know your principal when you were elementary and high school? What can you remember of him or of her? Do you have a memorable experience with your school principal? Now, there are instances that we have this negative concept or negative picture of a principal. A principal is somebody that we are afraid of. Every time we see the principal, we run away because we don't want to get near our principal. Ngano ka na? But you see, principal is one important person or individual in every school. Now, as school principal, that individual will have to assume leadership. So, in the context of the school, when we speak of leadership, it is the ability to influence others in order to achieve a certain goal. So, just like any leadership, the same is applicable in a school setting. So the principal, being a leader, should be able to influence others. Others can refer to the teachers of the school, the pupils or the learners of the school, or even the members of the PTA. So as a principal, he should or she should have the quality and the competence to influence these people in order to achieve a certain goal. Now, the role of the school principal has evolved over time. Because before, when we think about principal, the school principal was simply tasked to oversee the overall operation, to manage the school, the operation of the school. But in the passage of time, this role of the principal has changed because today, or at the present, the principal is involved in the learning of the students or of the pupils. Today, principal must be instructional leaders capable of developing a team of teachers who deliver effective instruction to every student. So this is now one of the important roles of a school principal, being able to manage a team of high quality, good caliber teachers that would make the pupils or the learners learn. With that, The principal is expected to develop and promote school vision, empower stakeholders to build and maintain the conditions necessary for the success of all the students. So you see, the school principal has a very significant and important role in the operation of the school because he has to lead and guide the school, and the main objective is for the learners, the students or the pupils, obtain high, good quality of education or instruction. So that is the primary role of the principal, to ensure that the students will have high quality learning, making sure that all the facilities of the school, including the manpower. So when we speak of manpower, we are referring to the teachers, that in all of these, in both the human and physical resources of the school, all these would be able to contribute to the learning of the pupils or students. And that is why we can say that high quality schools are characterized by high quality school principals. So if you can see a school that is of high quality, of course, you cannot remove the fact or the assumption that the principal must also be high quality. The quality of the school principal will reflect on the quality of the school. Good principal, good school. Incompetent principal, non-performing school. So you see, that's how important the principal is in the context of a school. So today, as we move on with this lesson, it is expected that at the end, you will be able to enumerate, identify what are the qualities that should be developed for a good principal. And you should be able to explain each of these qualities so that you will now have an understanding of how the principal should function in a school and how the principal would influence learning among the students or pupils of a particular school. So, what are the qualities that should be developed by a principal for him or for her to be considered good? Okay, so the first is instructional leadership. What do we mean by instructional leadership? That the principal should have instructional leadership, leadership in instruction. This means that the principal should have the ability to facilitate the development and in communication, implementation, and evaluation of shared vision of learning that reflects excellence. In other words, a principal with instructional leadership is someone who is able to develop and implement instruction to the students that is of excellent quality. Okay, so the principal must oversee and make sure that the teachers in a particular school will be able to deliver quality instruction to the students, and he helps. The principal is engaged, involved in the development of lessons, learning materials, and other processes to make sure that learning is of high quality. This is being enjoyed by the pupils or the students. The second is the ability to foster quality school climate. For many of us, we consider the school as our second home. So when we speak about home, home is something that is a place that is pleasant. Diba? A home is a place where we love to stay, where there is comfort, where we feel safe. That is a home. And so, if the school is our second home, then the school must also have this atmosphere of safety, comfort, and pleasure. So, as a school principal, it is his or her task to make sure that the school will have this kind of atmosphere, that the school is a place where children, the learners, feel safe and they enjoy, so that learning can be obtained. A pleasant place, a pleasant environment can ensure attainment of learning. So as a principal, it is his task, and he should be able to develop the quality of being capable of fostering, ensuring that there is good and positive school climate. The third is human resource administration. What does this mean? This simply means that the school principal has the ability and capability to mobilize and utilize the human resource of the school. So, as I mentioned earlier, when we speak about human resources, this refers to the teachers and other personnel working in the school. So that as a human resource manager, the principal must be able to help the teachers to bring out the best in each and every teacher in the school. So the principal must be able to encourage, inspire every teacher so that each of them will teach in his or her best capacity or capability. And this is true to other personnel working in the school, that a principal should be able to influence the one assigned to maintain the plaza, to make sure that the plaza is beautiful. That principal must be able to influence and inspire the security guard, making sure that safety of the students is assured. The principal should be able to influence the utility to make sure that the facilities of the school, including the comfort room or the toilet and other facilities, are clean. So this is one quality of a principal that should be developed, being able to utilize, maximize the human resource of the school. Other than that, the school principal is also expected to develop the skill in teacher evaluation. Of course, evaluation is important because this is a process that will make sure that quality and standard is being maintained. So, a school principal is capable of doing teacher evaluation so that whatever lapses or weaknesses that the teacher possesses, then the teacher is given the chance to improve whatever lapses or weaknesses that are being observed by the school principal. But at the same time, through teacher evaluation, the principal is able to point out what are the strengths, what are the good qualities of a teacher. So in teacher evaluation, if the principal is capable of doing this, the teacher being observed and being evaluated will be helped in order to improve himself or herself as a teacher. Another quality that should be developed by a school principal is organizational management. So when we speak about organizational management, this refers to the capacity and capability of the school principal to oversee the overall operation of the school, making sure that all the facility are working and in good condition, that all the personnel, including the teachers, are doing their task, making sure that all the resources are managed and utilized appropriately and properly. So this is one important task of a school principal. So other than his task in instruction, he also has to manage the overall operation of the school. So you see, it really requires competence and skill to become a principal. Then another important quality that a principal must develop is his capacity and capability in communication and community relation. This is very important, that a principal must be able to communicate effectively so that there is a clear understanding on things that are happening in the school. It would be very difficult for a principal to manage and lead the school if he is incapable of communicating. Now, have you experienced a person who has no skill in communication? It would be difficult dealing with that kind of person because most often there will be misunderstanding, misinterpretation, and other problems that may occur. So as a school principal, it is important that he should have skill in communication. He must be effective in communicating. He must be able to communicate. And in that way, he will also establish rapport, good relationship with other members or stakeholders of the school, of the community for that matter. So when we speak of stakeholder, what is a stakeholder? Who are the stakeholders of the school? So when we speak of stakeholder, this term refers to anybody, any individual or any person that has interest to the school. A person who has interest. Interest would mean he has a concern, he has a relationship, he has connection to the school. So who are the stakeholders? We can say that, of course, teachers, the personnel, the principal, they are one of the stakeholders of the school. Another are the students themselves. They have interest in the school for the fact that they are studying in that school and they are obtaining learning from the school. Then students are considered stakeholders. Another stakeholders are the parents of the learners, of the students. They are considered stakeholders. They have interest to the school for the fact that they are sending their children to study in that particular school. Local government officials are also stakeholders. So when we speak of stakeholders, these are the individuals who must be considered whenever there are decisions to make, particularly in regard to the school. Meaning to say, when the parents would say something, this must be considered by the school administration. When the barangay council will say something, this must be considered by the school administration. When the learners, the students, and the pupils will say something, this must be considered by the school administration. When the teachers will say something, this must be considered by the school administration. So that's what we mean by stakeholders. These are the sectors, the people, and the individual whose voices must be considered and listened by the school administration, the school management. So as a school principal, it is important that he will develop communication skill and also the capacity and capability in establishing good community relations. So when we say community relations, this refers to the different stakeholders of the school. Next is professionalism. What is professionalism? The principal must exhibit, must demonstrate professionalism. That as a principal, he must be professional. Of course, when we speak of professionalism or professional, this is a quality that refers to mastery. You are a professional basketball player, so meaning to say you are master in basketball. You do basketball almost perfectly. You are good in basketball. If you are a professional singer, meaning to say you are already an established good singer. So professionalism refers to mastery. Mastery. That is why we have professional dentists. So if you are a licensed dentist, you are professional. So you are good in taking care of the teeth of your patients. If you are a licensed doctor, meaning to say you are a professional doctor that is good in treating the ailment of the patients. If you are a professional boxer, that means to say you are master in the field of boxing. So when we speak of professionalism, this refers to mastery. You are good in that particular field. That is your specialization. So in the context of principal, professionalism is also expected in a principal. So when can we say that a principal is professional? Of course, there are a lot of qualities that would tell us that the principal is professional. But more than these things, a principal as professional is expected to exhibit integrity, fairness, and ethical behavior. So when we speak of integrity, we have explained this in the previous lesson. So a person with integrity is someone who is honest and true to himself. Kaya what he will say, he will do. You are a person of integrity if people will trust in you because they know that you are not lying, you are not hiding anything. You have this integrity. We can trust you. You are dependable. That's what we mean by integrity. So the principal must be a person of integrity. We can trust that principal because we know that that principal will not do anything that will harm the pupils and the teachers. And of course, the principal is expected to be fair, justice, and fairness, meaning to say he treats people fairly. And this is one thing that is very important in an organization because tendency is members are sensitive in the way they are being treated by a person of authority, principal for that matter, that it would not be fair if you treat this person in a different way compared to how the other person is also treated. There is no fairness if you give certain privileges to this group of person and deny the same privileges to another group of person when in fact they are of equal status. There is no fairness in that manner. So people of the same standing should be treated in the same manner. It would be fair if a principal will treat children, students, and pupils differently compared to how he treats his teachers. That is fairness. The principal has to treat these two groups of people differently. It would be unfair if the principal will treat the pupils the same as he treats the teachers, because these two groups of persons are not of equal standing. There would be unfairness if the principal will treat this particular teacher differently from another teacher. Since both are teachers, then the principal must treat them equally. So you see, fairness is something that we have to look into more carefully. And another important quality of being professional is ethical behavior. Of course, in every field of profession, there is ethics in which ethical behavior is expected. So, teachers are governed by the ethics for teachers. Therefore, the principal must also abide with what is dictated, stated in the ethics, doing what is proper and what is good as a principal, as a teacher. And the last is the principal's role in students' achievements. This refers to the ability of the principal to implement procedures in processes to make sure that the students will be able to maximize their talents and abilities and become achievers. As a principal, he must be able to provide avenue where the learners will be able to develop and maximize their talent and abilities and become successful individuals in the future. So there are principals who are very updated on what are the latest in sports, in music, in instruction. And upon knowing about these things, he immediately will inform the teachers about this and will make and try to find means that the school will be able to avail any of these, because he knows that this will help the students and the learners develop themselves. So, those are the qualities that should be developed by a principal for him to be considered a good principal. What do you think? Are these qualities achievable? Are these qualities possible to be developed by a principal? It is our assumption that of course these qualities can be developed by any individual, much more by a principal. And it is an assurance that if a principal is able to develop all of these, then we can be assured that a school will be well managed and the students will be able to achieve their dreams and ambition in life. So that would be all today. I have uploaded in our Google Classroom the learning tasks that you are to accomplish. You try to do all these activities because this will help you develop a deeper understanding of our topic today. So if in case you have questions and points for clarification, do not hesitate to text me or to send me a private message or write your question in our group chat. I wish you all well and keep safe, everyone. Thank you and good day.